Our guest today is no stranger to the art of designing great product experiences. With UX wizardry that's led to happier users and improved metrics at both startups and enterprises alike, Aram Stepanian knows how to get inside the minds of customers and craft solutions that truly resonate. While he's racked up impressive titles, Aram is most proud of the impact his work has had on real people's lives, whether it's making personal finances less confusing or streamlining communication for emergency responders. Beyond his own fantastic work, Aram is all about lifting up other designers through his lectures at Pace University and hands on workshops. And he really embodies the spirit of paying it forward. So I'm so pumped to dive into the mind of the man himself today. Please join me in welcoming Aram Stepanian, ex founding product designer at Touch. Aram, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me here. Great introduction, by the way.
You're welcome. So let's jump into it. How did you first get interested in UX design as a career?
My path is kind of diverse. Originally, I'm from Armenia, and I used to live lots of time in Russia, where I get my medical degree. My first education, I'm a doctor, and after the education, I get a chance to work during the COVID in the emergency room, and that experience was life changing for me. I noticed that I want to be in a little different field, even when I was studying in especially my second year of bachelor degree. So I started experimenting, started working in different agencies. At first, it was some marketing agency, just as an intern to learn as much as I can about the technical field. And after I get a chance to work for IKEA around 2 years as a home improvement specialist, and that was becoming the time that I was understanding, okay, I want to play around with the people experience and make their life better. And it's actually IKEA's vision statement, make people everyday life better. And I use the statement as my North Star, always trying to follow that.
Mhm.
And it's actually aligning well with my medical experience as well, because whatever you're trying to do, you're trying to bring good and better experience for people. So one of my friends, he was in the design field already. He was always talking with me about UX design. So uh, he started sharing with me some information, some courses to take. Initially, it was just around 5 years ago in Coursera. I started taking some courses from. I remember one was from Georgia Tech, and that's how I become in the field. And when I finished my medical degree, I decided to move forward and get like a master's degree in HCI, human-centered
Okay.
interaction. Yeah, and so I moved to US, New York City, and in the Pace University, get my master's degree in that field. During the study, I got some internships. One of my previous employer at Touch. So as a UX researcher initially, because the team was just starting up, they needed a researcher. And after when I graduated, I joined them as a founding designer. And yeah, that's basically, I would say, short and not quite short, but description of about how I become to the field.
Oh wow, that's a very interesting background from medicine all the way to doing HCI and like that's really cool. I'm really interested to see like what similarities did you see in both fields? Like people are at the center of both, but like what similarities did you see in both sectors?
A great question. I think it's all about listening in user
Mm,
experience and the same in medicine. As a doctor, you should listen to patient, what they're talking about, what's their in Latin it's called anamnesis. It's basically what's their illness story, what's happening with them. And same here in the UX design. You should talk with the customer or user story. You should talk with customer. Yeah, listen them and listen deeply. That's the main skill of UX designer. I feel is active listening. And when
mm,
you listen what they're talking about, you can capture that information and bring it to the insights and build the product based on that insights. And same in the medicine, based on the insights you're getting from the conversation, you're making assumptions what can be the cause of the illness and starting
mm.
working in that. It's all
Interesting.
about, yeah, I just feel it's in the medicine, it's about patient focus on patient, and here about customer focus.
Listening to people and like hearing the feedback is like so very important. Um Yeah, so what's a typical day like in your life as like a designer? Like walk us through like what it looks like when you wake up to when you go to bed.
Oh, that's a great question. So I'm not, as a founding designer, it's quite diverse. I'm waking up around 6:30 a.m. every day, trying to wake up early, and I'm usually the first guy in the office. We are working for WeWork in 222 Broadway, and when I'm coming, it's one of the biggest WeWorks. There is nobody. I'm the first one, and it's kind of a comfort zone for me. I'm coming, I'm sitting, finding a good place, and opening my laptop, checking out the Asana. We're using Asana for task management. Okay, what tickets left, what I need to do for the sprint, and also checking out some queue plans, what needs to be built next, checking out Slack and emails. It's like the morning, I would say, communication routine. I don't like that part a lot, to be honest. It's just time waste sometimes. But the next, usually what I'm doing, usually I'm having stand-ups in the morning with the team. After that, it highly depends on what's that or what's the tasks. Because sometimes it's more research, sometimes it's more the actual design, and sometimes it's like something else, business related. It's a startup. You're wearing a lot of hats. Sometimes you can do marketing stuff even. That's the life. Yeah, but usually I'm a big fan of designing. I like to do the UI design a lot, and whenever I'm getting the chance, I'm opening my Figma and start working on the
Mm,
components, on the design system, and the screens. I'm a little bit sneak peeking on the elements and on the like the small details. And sometimes I can even start fighting with the UI developer and just to make sure that everything is great. Yeah, not easy life, but what I like a lot in the product design, it's not only experience related, it's also business related. It's somewhere in the middle between business and
mm.
the customer, and you can learn a lot from that.
Yeah, so you mentioned Asana and also Figma. Like what other like tools or methods I would say do you turn to for ideation or creating new products?
I like to use a lot whiteboards like Miro or FigJam. Currently, I'm using only FigJam. It's just working faster in my machine. Yeah, and it's more comfortable for me. What I like to do, just having 30-minute session with the team, setting up the user stories, not necessarily user stories, I would say, but okay, we're generating the ideas. Let's say I'm giving, okay, let's have 3 minutes, generate as much ideas as you can for the product. And after we having like each was 5 quotes, how much, which one you like the more, and that way we're spending this like 30 minutes to narrow down all the big amount of the ideas we want to build to the one or two top two, let's say, ideas. Because sometimes if you're working on the product, you facing this challenge of building the vision and the product roadmap. You should understand what you're planning to build next. And that's one of the challenges of the product design job. Sometimes you just need to understand, okay, what's next? And nobody going to tell you,
Mm,
not your CEO, not your managers. You just should become with the ideas, pitch these ideas and tell why we should build this. I like to use the, I would say, design sessions with the team. And based on the outcomes of the session, you can become with hypothesis and try to have some research, talk with customers
mm.
to find if this hypothesis might be true or not.
Well, also like I'd love to understand like your creative process when you're faced with like a design challenge. Like take like what do you do? What's the first thing you do?
I'm opening Mobbing. I'm just checking
Mm,
if there is a similar solution.
mm,
I believe that you don't need to reinvent the wheel if there is
mhm,
something you can use. And Mobbing is amazing tool. I believe it's a like current timeline. It should be the almost the only tool that designers should find. I saw that mistakes lots of designers looking for places like Pinterest and even Dribble. Unfortunately, it's not the best place right now because it's too UI focused, not too experience focused. And it's better to learn from the real products. I'm just opening Mobin. Well, what's even I can do, I can copy the screen and find the way, okay, how I can adapt this solution for our needs, how I can make it better. And another North Star I'm following is trying to make sure that there is not too much inputs from user side. If you can reduce the number of inputs, you will improve the experience vastly.
What's one thing that like UX designers do that drive you crazy? You mentioned just making sure that all the pixels are right in the right place and everything like that. For me, like when things are out of place, especially like when we were going hard doing our first few iterations of the product, it always
Yeah.
like really like upset me, like when things aren't together. But like for you, like what upsets you when you don't see it happening in product?
I mean, you are talking from, let's say, design perspective or
Yes.
overall product perspective.
I mean, like it
Uh,
could be both, but like primarily design.
let's say from design, I like to follow like some good practices. Basically, what I hate the most, if I see someone works and trying to figure out how it's working, is naming. If you're not names the elements correctly, if you
Mm,
just, I don't like to see group 2500 blah blah blah. I hate that a lot. It's just I can understand because sometimes for me it's easy to go fastly between layers, not like click 100 times to the one text field, for example, to hover that. I can use the keyboard shortcut to finally do that, fastly do that. But if the naming and this simple, I would say, practices is not following, it's hard to work on that. That's what I'm trying to teach my students at pace. Always follow basic good practices until you are, yeah, until you are not, let's say, I don't know, head of design in Adobe. You can skip these small parts, but
yeah.
if you are just junior designer, try to follow good practices.
What are some of the key ingredients you think for UX magic? Like crafting magical experiences. And like when everything is just comes together, like what do you think is like a key component of making that work?
Yeah, basically, the key component in UX is customer obsession and customer outcome focus. I don't know, most likely you know about the framework job to be done. So I like that framework a lot because the main idea is that customer or user hiring the product or performing some task, and the only result is the outcome. If you're designing just to design, it's not going to work. And same with the
Mhm.
product. When whatever you're building, you should think what it will bring for the customer and what customer will achieve using this particular product. And that's what I'm using usually to like sort ideas and solutions while I'm designing.
Well, sure, sure. Pretty much when I was crafting a question, I was thinking of, like different frameworks. Not necessarily like the JTB framework, but like a React or a Mantine or like using different tools to make an experience a bit more magical. But I
Oh,
think this the response works as
yeah.
well, like pretty much understanding like everything cohesively makes a lot of sense before you even get to that because a lot of times people kind of over design things, and don't really focus on like what necessarily needs to be done. So I think it's a very adequate response.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% share what you're saying. For that reason, what I'm doing, I'm trying to follow fast iterations. Sometimes, let's say the Figma prototype is not giving all the experience to the user, but what you can do, you can use framework. You can just copy that prototype, paste in the framework, and share the link, and it will be actually almost working product. It will
Mhm.
be really similar experience, which basic Figma prototype unfortunately cannot provide. And if you will find these little loopholes, and I would say in life hacks between two different tools, just to combine them together, you can get a lot of insights. And another stuff is you should continuously try to kill features. I know that Google using this
Mm.
approach. Probably you heard about the website where all the Google products which been killed by Google. And but that's a good approach because you are not following in love on what you build. And yeah, you should be really accurate with that. I was struggling with that initially, and after trying to work with myself just to make sure, okay, I build this, this is nice, but this cannot work. This maybe will not work out, and you should easily click delete or archive.
So what do you think is the future of UX? So, like, what are some predictions or bold predictions I would say you have for the future of UX? How do you think the industry is going to change over the next 3 to 5 years?
It's a great question. First of all, about the UX, what's the point of the UX? I will divide my answer. It's emotions. I don't know if you're familiar with Rahul Vohra. He's the CEO of Superhuman. One of the principles he's using for the building company is following game design principles. And in general, the game design principles is make sure it whatever you're designing, it's bringing particular emotions. And first, you should think about what emotions you want to drive. Is it curiosity? Is it pleasure? Is it, I don't know, anger? Doesn't matter. It's depending on the product you're building. But you need to understand, okay, even the small element I will put in my design, what emotions it will bring. And that's about UX, how I think. I think it's highly subjective and emotional stuff. And about the future, I don't know if you get a chance to check out new updates from OpenAI, the GPT. They added this feature when you can put the picture and GPT analyze the picture. Today morning, I put my design there and I ask, what do you think about the user experience of the screen? And I especially made some small mistakes, like the main button. I didn't add the color, make it like little weird. I mean, the small issues. And he found it out. He provided me recommendations. Okay, maybe it's better to put somewhere here. He clearly understand what it can be when they want to try. Unfortunately, it's only in GPT Plus subscription, but it's worth it. It's just
Wow.
magical.
Yeah, I've seen a few demos of people transferring the design from paper to code just by taking a picture. But I didn't know like the critiquing part. That's pretty powerful. That's really cool.
Yes, especially if you're alone. Like I'm a lone designer. All of my career, I've been alone almost. Unfortunately, I'm looking to be not alone anymore, and that's giving me the opportunity. For the junior designers, it can help with portfolio a lot, just to get like critique from another side.
So like what keeps you motivated and like passionate as a designer after like your like with your career in the industry? How do you what keeps you like going? You know, like what do you yeah, why do you love the industry so much?
I love the industry so much because it's about people. All my
Mm,
life, I was thinking about that I should serve. And with that in mind, I went for the medical school. And after when I was working in IKEA, whole IKEA's value proposition is about people's life.
mm.
Let's make their life better, everyday life. And that's as I said in the beginning, my North Star in my vision for the user experience. It's definitely about business as well. But first of all, I believe you should think about humanity and how you can bring value to people.
I really like that. And I'm thinking like like this question was like to me, I think I pretty much know the answer. Because like that has been the central point of or conversation so far. And the question is like if you could give only one piece of advice to new designers, what would it be? I'm pretty sure it's like around people as well and listening.
I'm trying to come up with something maybe different besides listening. I would say don't be afraid to ask for the advice and don't be afraid to reach
Mm,
out to people directly, even if you don't know them. People are nice. I mean, just if someone will not answer you, that doesn't mean that someone else will not. So try to reach out to people as much as you can and ask for the feedback, for the advice. That's helping a lot. I find a lot of friends just by reaching out them in LinkedIn. I mean, offer people coffee. Let's meet. Let's talk. And these life interactions giving a lot of opportunities.
I love that. So like this is my last question here. I ask everyone on the show who comes, what's one weakness that you've turned into your strength?
Yeah, I was preparing for this question, based on the my list of your previous conversations. So by nature, I'm so curious that I can easily lose my attention. It's hard for me to focus on one field, as you know from my history, focus on one job. But what I done, I tried to bring this curiosity to the learning. Whenever I'm curious about something, how is it working? Let's say again with ChatGPT, can I build application without knowing the code? That's bring a lot of feelings inside of me. I want to do it right now. So I just okay. I'm going to follow my feelings and my brain, and I'll do that. I'll spend some time doing that. And thanks to that, I get a lot of skills in engineering and in the business, and I can easily now talk with the people. I can easily understand what the developers talking about and what can be built, how much time it will take, just because I start following my curiosity.
Mm,
And a lot of people saying that you should keep focusing, you should keep attention on the one stuff, be good at that. But I don't believe, to be honest, on that. It's just how my history happened. Medical school and after technology field. maybe it's not the best advice, but I feel that yeah, you follow your heart. If you want to do something different, do it.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
agree. Like
Yeah.
you have to be curious. Like it's the only way you'll see ahead. Curiosity is the best way to, know exactly what to do, because if you're not curious, you're not creative. So I love that.
Exactly.
Aram, thank you so much for joining us on Got 10 Minutes. If our listeners would like to engage with you or follow you on different platforms, where's the best place they can connect with you?
I would say LinkedIn. It's just yeah. I mean, I'm every day opening my LinkedIn, so if someone will text me, I'll definitely reply. And LinkedIn, that's all. I'm to be honest, I'm not. I'm coming from Western Europe, where people do not use Twitter that much. I know that people here we using Twitter a lot. I'm trying to make this habit using that, but unfortunately, I'm not still there. That's why I would say, well, if someone wants to connect with me, follow me in LinkedIn. It connect with me, or even you can email me. Um, I'm open for every conversation.
Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks for listening to the Got 10 Minutes podcast, powered by Samelogic, action based in product surveys. To stay in touch, please follow us on LinkedIn or the podcast app where you're listening to this on right now for more episodes. I'm Dwayne Samuels. Take care.